Okay guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you affordable housing in a town called Hobe Sound in Florida. It's located in the southeast portion of Florida. Now when we're talking about Florida, there are four major hubs as seen on the map in the video picture. There is Jacksonville, which is located in the northeast section of Florida, located on the Georgia borderline. You have Orlando, which is located in the center of Florida, pretty much. You have Tampa, which is located on the west coast of Florida by the Gulf of Mexico. And you have Miami, which is in the southeast portion of Florida and is pretty much the gateway to the Caribbean. So I reference that because you have four hubs, four different environments, four major metropolitan areas with major economic opportunity and development. But that being said, living in one of those four hubs could be very congested. So a lot of times what I like to look at is areas outside those hubs, but within close enough proximity where you can still utilize the infrastructure if you needed it. So Hobe Sound is one of these type communities. Even though it is a couple hours north of Miami, that would be the closest hub, it's still relatively close to West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, etc. And Port St. Lucie is right north of it. So you have some development, some job opportunities, some good hospitals, some areas, some school systems where in the somewhat surrounding areas you can use if you needed to. Now, Hobe Sound itself is a small town. You'll see as I zoom in, it's kind of located north of the Palm Beach County district and just south of Port St. Lucie. So those are good areas. And as I zoom in, you see the black outline, which basically shows you the township border. And I'm doing this in this order so that you see from a zoomed out perspective, again, where you're located in Florida. That's very important. Because the four hubs of Florida, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Miami, they're all different. So you kind of, first, when you talk about Florida, you have to understand, do you want to live in North Florida, Central Florida, the West Coast of Florida, or the East Coast of Florida? Each environment is different. Okay? But this is the southeast portion of Florida. I'm going back into Hobe Sound now. Okay. And as we get into here, what I'm going to do next, I start at the map level. Next, I'm going to use the list tab. I'm on the realtor.com app. We're going to look at properties. I'm going to use the list tab on the top right hand corner of my phone app, and it's going to pull up properties. Now, when you look at the search engine, you can either go from prices low to high, or if you look at this area frequently, just go to the new listings tab, and that will pull up the newest listings in order of newest to oldest from top to bottom. So, but I'll go back to price low to high as the filter. I love filters to narrow your focus. So being that we're looking at this together, let's go from prices low to high. Let's look for the cheapest single family home that is not under contract. Anything that says pending or contingent is under contract. Pending usually means there's no contingency for financing or it's past inspection, and it pretty much means it's going to close unless there's a major issue. Contingency means that it's contingent upon getting financing, contingent upon inspection, etc. So contingency, it may not go through. Pending is like 90% it'll go through. So as we go from prices low to high, in some of these areas, you're going to see a lot of low properties, but they're undeveloped raw pieces of land that are speculative. So we're going to skip over those. We're going to even skip over some of these mobile homes that are under pending. I'll do a separate video on that because there are some good mobile home communities in Hobe Sound that you own the land. There's no lot rent. I'll do a separate video on that. Okay. We're going to look in this video for the cheapest single family home in Hobe Sound. Okay. This is a mobile home, not a single family home. A mobile home, the difference between a mobile home and a single family home, number one, is the construction build, the building materials, and Also, the financing, that's probably the major thing. You can't normally get a 30-year fixed mortgage on a mobile home. Sometimes you can't even get financing depending how old the mobile home is. Single family home is different. You can get the 30-year financing. It's more desirable. It's considered a better investment, right? So those are just things you have to consider. These are mobile homes. And you see even a lot of the mobile homes are under pending. Now, we're looking for something that is not under pending or not contingent, and that is low price. Here we go. To me, this is the most affordable single-family home currently on the market in Hobe Sound. It's listed at $200,000. It actually just dropped in price by $10,000. And it is a small, older, like beach bungalow. It's about 10 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean. It's only 700 square feet or so. It's located on a quarter of an acre. So let's click on this. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 682 square foot, sitting on a quarter acre. You see all that data directly under the 200,000 listing. Then you see the property address and Hobe Sound. So let's click on this listing and let's look at the pictures together, okay? So you can click on an individual picture. This front lawn and this little cute house, I mean, it's very inspiring. And then you can zoom in, and just take a look around in the pictures. But let's keep going. This is an aerial view. Okay, now, one thing that comes up in this aerial view is your neighbors have cars parked on their lawn. This is a non-HOA. And, that's something that you need to drive by this house to see the condition of your neighbor's property. The little red dot and the ocean in the horizon shows the proximity to the inlet. Another aerial shot. Here's the inside, which to me, older decor, but nice tiles, clean, neat. What you need to look at, though, when it comes to homes in Florida is you need to walk through the property and smell, because there's sometimes a lot of mold in these older homes because there's so much humidity in Florida. Obviously, you need an inspection when you're talking about buying a single-family home, but in a hot market, sometimes people skip that. But the smell test is definitely at least a starting point. You want to walk through this property, see if you smell mold. But you see here, I mean, everything looks clean, small kitchen, nothing fancy. But for $200,000, look at the size of this property, a quarter acre. You can clean up the landscaping. You could park a RV. There's no HOA. You could add to this home. You can get permits, and you could develop this. So to me, this is a very affordable house. Look at this beautiful bathroom. Would I recommend this house? Well, I would recommend you go there, look at the street. We're going to talk about this in a minute. Look at the street, look at the neighbors. And what are you using this property for? Retirement, raising a family. Then you have to look at the school district if you're raising a family. Retirement, then you have to look at how loud it is in the surrounding area. That's something you can't get off pictures. But here is a great shot. Shows you the red area, shows you your property line. Now you see right next to the red area on the bottom of the screen are cars. So again, the surrounding property, may have a bunch of cars parked on the lawn, and you may need to, that may be an issue. So just something to think about. This shows a street that goes through Jupiter Island, up to Jupiter Island to a beautiful, prestigious beach. Jupiter Island is home to celebrities like Celine Dion lived there. I believe Tiger Woods lived there. I mean, it's a beautiful top-end area, Jupiter Island. So this is just showing pictures of the inlet. Let's go back to the listing. So again, this gives the data. It's been on the market for 81 days. That's a red flag. Why? Well, in a hot housing market, and Hobe Sound is an up-and-coming place that property has been moving fast. I'm concerned on why it's been on the market that long. I haven't drove by this property. You need to drive by it and see the issue there. Maybe it can't get financing. Maybe it's cash only. But even that, I'd be surprised. It says it was built in 1950. Now, let's click on the map view. I want to show you something. One thing I do know about this property from this area, if you zoom out, first zoom out to see how close you are to the ocean. You're pretty close. Then zoom out again. You see, how close you are to surrounding areas. Jupiter, Port St. Lucie, Jensen Beach area, etc. So let's zoom back in. One thing I want to show you is it is very close to a railroad. That's the red flag. Okay. You see, this red dot here is your property. Here's a street, Highway A1A, and then right across that street is a railroad. So that is an issue why it's probably on the market. So do you want to live across the street from a railroad? Well, how often does that train go by? It will make the property less appealing for a future buyer. And also there's a baseball field to the left. Now that could be a good thing where there's open land and not a lot of neighbors, but also they could have lighting, like baseball field lights at night, if they ever had games and stuff. But the railroad's probably the biggest red flag. That railroad, I've been by it. It's not a major issue. Look, you're getting a property for $200,000. If there wasn't a railroad, if there was a body of water, if the ocean was across the street, this property would be $1 million, right? So it's all proportional. But when you're looking at properties, use all the data in the listing. This again is on realtor.com. Cross-reference it with Zillow.com and try to do all this. And the other thing I would recommend you do is do street view. Some of these properties don't have street view, but this one does. So see, now this is the house. Okay, cute. To me, it's very cute. And you can see the neighbors I was talking about. Here's their cars. That's something, I'm just zooming over a little bit. Let me go back. That's something that you gotta, you have to walk around that area to see how that feels and how that, how that appears. So, but that's why it's cheap. But look, you have a nice sidewalk. I know this area. No major issues here, at least in my opinion. And I think this has a great potential. You see, you got quite a bit of spacing from your neighbors. Again, you are across the street from the railroad tracks. Something to consider, but you're also close to shopping, supermarkets, hospitals, etc. So, and use these arrows to kind of like go and see your neighbor's house. Okay, there's your neighbor. Again, no red flags on your neighbor. The other neighbor has all those cars, something you need to consider. But yeah, I would definitely, at least, this is definitely worth a look. Okay, so let's go back to the listing again. And I just wanted to show you, just add love. It says, yep, endless possibilities, basically develop it. And when you look too down here in the listing, they have these new items, flood risk, right? So it's only a 1 out of 10 flood risk. That's good because it's not located right by the ocean. When you talk about properties in Florida, you want to get a quote on house insurance because house insurance could be very high in Florida because you're in a hurricane state. There could be flooding. So if the flood factor, at least on realtor.com, is only a 1 out of 10, then your house insurance may not be that bad. So it's a small little cute cottage. Going down on the listings, again, no HOA from my understanding. Here gives you a school system rating, 4s and 5s. That's not that good. It is just north of Jupiter, Florida, Jupiter school systems, which are great, but you would need a Jupiter address. So that's something you have to consider unless you homeschool. And this shows the property value chart. Of course, everything's high right now. And this shows you how long it's been on the market. So all this is data. So, it is a little bit of a red flag that it hasn't sold already in a hot market, but it's worth to take a look and stay inspired. And it looks like the property taxes are only $1,200 a year. Now, when you buy a property, those property taxes will be reevaluated based on the sales price and the surrounding sales prices of other houses. But as soon as you buy a house within the next calendar year, you can apply for a homestead exemption if this is going to be your primary residence, which will somewhat they will lower your property taxes to a certain level and keep them from going up like no more than 3% per year. So this is a property that I believe is worth looking at. $200,000, single family home in Hobe Sound, Florida, just north of Palm Beach County. And I think that's it. I mean, look, you see all these other ones are pending. This is a mobile home here that's not pending. I think that's the cheapest affordable single family house right now. There's other mobile homes that are somewhat close to that. And I'll do more videos like this. Let me know. Leave a comment below if you like. I'm adding this dimension to my channel. I'm going to use realtor.com. I'm using a share my phone screen app to kind of go through these listings to talk about housing, to show you about how to search them. I've been to some of these communities, given you some information. You would still need to go yourself and do all the research. But I think these videos will be inspiring, helpful, knowledgeable, and it'll be a fun way to add to the channel. So Subscribe if you're not. Click that blue join button. Click the thumbs up, share the video. And yeah, see, I mean, that's pretty much it. Everything else is under pending or contingent. There's a couple other mobile homes that are not for sale yet, but for some reason, that's still on the market. Now, there's got to be a reason, right? Because there's always a reason. But we're staying inspired and we're keeping hope alive by giving you actual, factual information, not just false hope. And this will help you. Even if this house isn't for you, this will help you. Give you information, visual reference, okay, and motivation. So again, subscribe if you're not. Let me know you like these new videos that I'm doing. I'll do affordable housing in areas of South Florida and other areas of Florida I know. We'll use the Realtor.com app. I'll share my screen. Maybe I'll even use Zillow.com. I'll share my screen on my phone. I'll talk about it. We'll talk about the information and a listing, and we'll be so inspired. We'll live below our means, but up to our potential. We'll live below our means, but up to our potential. So thank you again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.